Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle, ladies and gentlemen, because today we're talking about the newest attraction at Walt Disney World, Rockin' Roller Coaster starring the Muppets. I'm your intrepid cast member Jared Fairclough, here to lead you through the queue and onto the limo with special guests Dani Iglesias and Bette Lombardi. Dani is an old friend of us here at Tough Pigs and is a creative director at Muppet Studio, while Bette is a producer at Walt Disney Imagineering and also worked on Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. So face forward, heads back, and let's drive 57 miles per hour to find out just how Tough Pigs got an Easter egg and if Mr. Curly Twirly got one too. And I'm here now with Dani Iglesias and Bette Lombardi. Hello, welcome to Tough Pigs.
Hi,
Hello,
Tough
thank you
Pigs.
for having us.
I'm so excited to talk to you. I'm so excited to talk about a roller coaster I haven't been on, mind you, because it's
Well, good
very
news,
far away.
we're gonna paint a picture with our words and you'll feel like you've been on it.
You know, I definitely thought when you started the word paint, I thought you were going to say pay, and you were going to offer to fly
Oh,
me over.
that's what an idea. What a non-committal response this is.
Yeah, we're gonna get definitely told to cut all of this. But we're gonna barrel through anyway. Look, feel free either of you to jump in at any point during this entire conversation. But you know, Muppets, Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets. What is the genesis of this ride? Obviously, we had the track system and everything with Aerosmith. Tell me how we go from Aerosmith to the Electric Mayhem.
Well, the Muppets are inherently musical, right? So it just made sense for them to have a new home over at GeForce Records, just to bring their chaos and musicality and just humor to bring just new life and just give them a new home at at Hollywood Studios. Yeah, we still had to work with the bones of the existing attraction, but there was a lot of unused spaces. Really, there was a lot of opportunities and nooks and crannies that we could use to tell more of a richer story that is backed by the Muppets. And of course, your crazy ride across town to the concert is just a little different as part of the ride experience.
If there's one thing I know, it's that the Muppets thrive in nooks and crannies. So it was a perfect
Nooks, crannies.
symbiosis.
So how do we? So I guess whose idea was this? Is there one particular person we have to be thanking for this ride?
Gosh, isn't it everyone's idea? Does it just make sense to everybody?
I mean, you're
I
not
think
wrong.
that's kind of my feeling is that this is some ideas are just so inherent and implicit that no one gets to say this was mine, especially in the creative process at Walt Disney Imagineering because we
Mhm.
all work so closely together. I don't think there are many, if any, things in this attraction that one person could point to and go, that is implicitly mine. Like this
Mhm.
is such a group effort to bring a whole attraction to life, that it really is a testament to all of the different people involved and what they bring.
How many people ballpark figure do you think worked on this ride?
Oh gosh, hundreds. I mean, we have everything to our core team that is there every day in and day out with all of our subject matter experts that are focusing just on what they do best, which is special effects or animation or lighting, etc. So they have a lot of small people, small teams that are focused on just their subject matter as well. But then we have a lot of consultants, we have a lot of concept designers, just everyone that kind of comes in and out sometimes, and some of us that just are the driving force for the entire time.
Mhm.
Those are just the humans. We have over 100 Muppets in this attraction.
Mhm.
So altogether, hundreds and hundreds of beings brought this attraction to life.
So tell me about the creative side, I guess, of things. Like, you know, so we have the concept of the Muppets are putting on a show, the Electric Mayhem are late. Um, sort of, yeah, let's talk about the videos, for example. So whether it's the pre-show or the videos with the celebrities in line, whatever it might be. Have you got a team writing those? Is that something that went through a lot of, I guess, creative before we actually got to that point?
Of course, we started with a
Absolutely, yeah.
list. Yeah. Go ahead, Danny.
Go ahead, Betty. No, you go.
We start with the list, right? I mean, there's a lot of friends of the Muppets that just work really well with the IP, but then we also wanted to expand it to work with our new story with Rock and Roller Coaster. Um, but really, everyone was really game to come in and play and find the right vibes and characters to bring to the table and tell all these new stories in the queue and in the pre-show and in the ride box and in the post-show.
One of the things I've been thinking about a lot is once creative is out in the world, you kind of point to and go like, "Oh yeah, of course, that's what it should be and that's what it's been the whole time." And having been on this project now for months and months and months, there were many times that what seems obvious now was not obvious to us. And we had to explore different things and go down different roads and decide that wasn't right for the creative or wasn't right for the characters and kind of kick the tires on lots of different ideas to land where it is now. And that iterative process is kind of where the magic is because when you're working with friends and partners and colleagues and collaborators where you all have each other's backs, it really becomes this joyful, collaborative think tank of wild Muppet ideas.
Wild Muppet ideas, exactly. It's really easy to go down a rabbit hole, overthink everything. So we're there to pull each other, reel each other back up against like, hey, let's get back to grounding of what is this attraction about and just make it as fun as possible.
Were there any concepts like in that pipeline that got quite a far way down the road and then you ended up pulling back on?
Gosh. I think there was a couple in the beginning when we were trying just to sort out what is our story. We kind of have to go down a couple of paths just to make sure that we have variety and options to share with our creative leadership, and make sure it also gels and jives with the Muppet Studio as well. Um, but there was nothing that we really got stuck on for too long. I don't recall. Danny, did I pass out during any of those meetings and don't remember?
Yeah, there was that one time that you said that we could do a full Bean Bunny could take over, but it's okay. Uh, we reeled it back. No, I think for the most part it was just about dialing in. None of the ideas really fully got thrown out the window or discarded. It was just about finding the right amounts of different story focuses, different characters. We wanted to balance the let's give Easter eggs and deep cuts to our super fans, and let's also not make it so overwhelming that you feel like you have to be part of this club to know what's going on. So there's some things that are really great baseline surface level. If you know nothing about the Muppets or the Hollywood rock scene, you can still come and enjoy it and pick up on the clues along the way. Or if you are that super fan that's looking for all of the Easter eggs and deep cuts, we will pay that off for you as well. But that is it's a tightrope to walk.
Yeah, look, we are going to talk a lot about Easter eggs a little bit later on. There's a couple that, in particular, I've asked, got some questions
Hmm.
about. I
Hmm.
wonder what that one could be. Um, in the sort of where you have a Tough Pigs Discord, we have over 1,000 people in it. A lot of conversation was happening as this ride was announced and came out. One of the questions a lot of people had, and I'm hoping maybe you guys could answer, is this thing is set at GeForce Records. So we have JP Gross, who is Scooter's uncle, has taken GeForce Records and moved on. Now, we spent a whole season of television in Muppets Mayhem introducing a record label, Penny Waxman. Why keep it as GeForce? Why not go something like Waxman Records?
That's a great question. Um, the first one and the most obvious one is that the wonderful Imagineers that came before us literally stamped GeForce Records into the architecture of this attraction. So we knew that was not going away. Not only is it so important to fans, the sort of GeForce lore of the former attraction, but it is physically there for us to play with and expand. In terms of the Muppets Mayhem kind of storyline and how we do that, we looked at the Muppets Mayhem and we had all these conversations with our wonderful Muppet performers. We look at the Muppets Mayhem the same way we look at the Muppet movie, which is it's sort of approximately how it happened.
Hmm.
So the Electric Mayhem knows that they made a TV show called The Muppets Mayhem. And in that TV show, there is a fictional recording studio called Waxtown Records and a character named Penny Waxman. So we kind of let that be the story that's a Hollywood production, just like the Muppets know that they are part of an Imagineering attraction. So they can kind of live their lives and know that those are starring roles for them where they're playing characters.
Hmm.
These are real conversations I get to have as part of my job. Isn't it silly? Ah, yes, of course. Let's talk about the lore of two fictional recording companies and how they balance. So silly. I'm so lucky.
And getting paid for it. Well, I mean, in that sort of realm, were there any conversations, either you, Betty, or you, Danny, that you had during this where you're like, how is this my job? How am I actually discussing this?
Yeah, the
constantly,
pinch me
every day.
moments, the don't wake me days are just about every day on this project, honestly. Like what a dream come true to work with the amazing Muppet team, the performers, all their handlers, as I've learned to uh yeah, it'll be hard to top this one. I've done some pretty incredible projects, but this one's pretty far up there.
I think the most special moment for me was we got to walk the attraction with the Muppet performers before it officially opened to guests
Hmm.
and to get to see their reactions and how much fun they had. And then, sort of the icing on the cake was we all rode the coaster together. And so I was riding Blur Song 2 with the Electric Mayhem as they all sang along. And I just went, oh my gosh, how is this? How is this real life?
I did love the photos and that the Muppet account actually got to post the ride photos with all the
Yeah,
performers
yeah.
and yourself, and yeah, that was very, very cool. While you talk about, Blur 2, tell me about the song choices. How did we settle on these? I mean, they're all excellent choices. Um,
Thank you.
tell me how we settle on those.
Yeah, lots of development on that too. Of course, just like there are guest stars, you kind of start with a list. Yeah, you start with, well, what are some rock songs that would work number one on Rock and Roller Coaster?
Mhm.
We have it right there. We can go ride it to see if the vibes and the intensity and energy is there, but also what would make sense with them being performed by the Electric Mayhem. So we tested over 100 songs, but really we just needed to narrow in on the ones that work best to support our characters and stories.
What I love is
But
that they
also,
kind of
oh,
ended
sorry.
up, oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. I'm so sorry. Just
No, you're
like
good. I was
recording
gonna
with
say,
you. Oh, I love you so much.
I love you. You're so good at this.
We've been
This
away
is why
from
we
each other
like
for like a
podcasts.
week, and
I
this has happened
know.
already.
You go first,
No,
and
I
then
was
I'll say something, something decades.
what I really like about we were recording with the Electric Mayhem. With them doing covers really allowed us to open the catalog of songs, right? We could
Mhm.
choose from different eras, different genres of rock and roll, so we can really just put it in their voice. So that was also a really fun process to kind of narrow in on that as well. Now I'm done.
No, what I love what you said about eras because for me it was looking at all of the different types of people that walk through the gates at Disney's Hollywood Studios and making sure that there's something for everybody. So the eras of it means that we have rock from the 60s and we have rock from the naughty oddies. And I've never said naughty oddies before, and I'm never going to say it again.
Yeah, I didn't
I'm
like
going to say 2000s. The 2000s. Um, but we sort of have music that gets to represent all different versions of rock. We know that not every song is quote unquote classic rock and roll, but rock has evolved over the years. Artists have evolved over the years, and I like that it's such a cool array of different types of songs. It's not all the same thing.
I don't know how much detail you want to go into. Were there any songs that sort of got close, or you said you had over 100? Any that you'd like to reveal now? Don't feel you have to.
I don't think Frank
Yes,
will let us.
That's what I
exactly.
Thought.
That's it.
I did say this
Lots of
thinking
great
Frank's going to pop
jams.
up and say, no, no, no.
What a great question. Lots of
What I will,
over 100 songs were tested.
Just
but what
start
I will
making them
say,
up.
just
I
because,
just usually go with "You Can Call Me Al." That's my go-to standard joke
Happy
song.
birthday.
oh,
Happy
good,
birthday
good, good.
was
Happy birthday, nice.
row, row,
Frank's
row
just
your
written
boat.
LOL, so hello, Frank.
So that was a good answer.
Row, row
I
your
will
boat,
say,
nice.
however, because Danny had brought up Song 2 by Blur, that was one of our first choices that
Hmm.
really stuck through the entire time. I mean, it's such a fun song. Everyone can woohoo to it. Many people didn't even know the name of the song until we
I
kind of
didn't.
came out here. And as soon as I said, see, there's many, what song? What? Oh, yeah, of course. We all hear that in the arenas. Yeah. But it just works. It's just so much fun. It stood the test of time.
Yeah. Um, One of my absolute favorite things that I've ever seen in my life is the fact that you guys motion captured Scooter.
I know.
And well, firstly, just about animatronic Scooter, Danny, I emailed you about this when it happened, when I saw it. I love the fact you gave him the arm rod.
Me too.
I cannot tell you how much I love that you guys gave him an arm rod because it's entirely unnecessary, and I love it. Um,
Oh, it's operating the arm. It's an actual puppet on a robot arm. That is a functional working puppet rod, just like David Rudman would use.
well, tell me everything about motion capturing a Scooter puppet because I mean people can go online and see the photo. It is adorable. Look with him with his little blue
Adorable,
little outfit.
exactly.
He's ador it's yeah, it's mostly the cuteness factor of all of it. No, this was something that was really important to us at the Muppet Studio. You know, we have this desire to celebrate the art of puppetry in a world that has so many other forms of technology. The idea that our Muppet performers every day kind of put fabric on their hands and bring a character to life is straight up magic. So when we started the conversations with our wonderful Imagineering friends to say, hey, if we were to look at an audio animatronic figure, what would it be? How could we do it? We said, gosh, wouldn't it be great if it was an actual puppet? Like if it is a puppet on a robot arm with a rod, could we even do it? And that's part of the magic of Walt Disney Imagineering is that we have an entire team of geniuses who just solve problems like that and who were not afraid when we asked the question and said, we don't know. That's never been done. Let's see if we can. So at least from the Muppet Studio side, it's been such a dream partnership. They were so game to bring David Rudman in, put Scooter in a very unnecessary but adorable mocap suit. I have seen the comments online that it's not real because he wouldn't need to be wearing a mocap suit. We know Scooter just wanted to wear it because it looked good. But we did two different mocap sessions with the team of Imagineers who are responsible for the figure, and it looks so dang good. It really
It
is. That's
just
the
looks
second best thing
authentic.
to having David Rudman live.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, look out, they're taking their jobs.
There are certain there are certain moves that the animatronic does that is something that looks like David's puppetry.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
very, very, very impressive.
it
Because
truly is.
it is David's
Yeah, it
puppetry.
is David's performance. It really is. They take the data from that mocap session, they upload it into the computer and the robot, and it just mimics exactly what was performed. And then from there, our Imagineering team just kind of has to fine tweak it to give its final performance and make sure it doesn't hurt itself, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, it really that is David doing his performance. It's incredible.
Well, one of the things that popped up online recently is I like to see a little bit behind the scenes, like behind the magic. And someone actually sort of managed to get their phone up and actually take some photos of what the animatronic, like the arm looks like. And it really truly just looks like an arm with their hand up in the air.
Yeah, it reminds me of
Yeah, that's
like
correct.
Tony Stark's robots in
Yes.
Marvel. Like if one of them really wanted to be a Muppet performer.
Yeah.
Uh, Look, I could talk about animatronic Scooter. We can do a whole other podcast just on animatronic Scooter. Um, Maybe we can do that for our 70 years, 70 Muppets, more Muppets, please podcast. We'll do one just on animatronic specifically Scooter.
Yes.
Um, we have several props from Muppet Vision that have found its way. Obviously, Muppet Vision unfortunately had to close, but we have this instead. What felt too important to leave out?
Gosh, that's a great question.
That's a great way to frame that question. Yeah.
I think for me at least, it was so important that this attraction became a love letter to the classic rock and roller coaster, an homage to Muppet Vision 3D, but that we never let those two things get in the way of telling a new story.
Hmm.
Because I think we fail if this is just a tribute because it needs to stand the test of time. It needs to bring in new people, and no one wants to be walking through a museum of something that they've never experienced themselves if they're a first timer. Of I don't know the relevancy of that
Hmm.
crate you all seem super excited about. So that was sort of the adventure of making sure that all of these things found great homes. I think early on we landed on this idea of Gonzo's stunt school because Gonzo didn't really have a ton of storyline inside G-Force, but gosh, if we could give him a home in the alleyway, what would his job be? So his stunt school opened up the ability for us to bring in all sorts of different props and moments for him, a lot of which are from Muppet Vision 3D. How about you, Betty? What do you think was too important to leave out?
Oh gosh, you summed it up so well. It's really hard to top that. But yeah, just making sure that we're letting our guests know that we care about the Muppets, we care about Muppet Vision 3D, and that we want to make sure that we are honoring that in the best way that we can.
Well, we have the cannon
We
We
from
do
do.
have the
Muppet
canon.
Vision. We have the chairs. I believe Statler and Waldorf's chairs are there. Um,
Hmm.
are they the animatronic Statler and Waldorf from Muppet Vision, or are they new animatronics? They are.
They are. The classic Muppet Vision audio animatronics have made their way just over across the park.
Beautiful. Is there anything else that you specifically went, we need to have that?
Well, we knew that Waldo C. Graphic only exists on screen in that, but it was
Hmm.
important that we honor him as well. So he is one of our obligatory Easter eggs in the Gravity box. So he has a sort of an Easter egg crossing sign in there. There's also a second Waldo that I have not told anyone exactly where he is, but Eagle-eyed fans can be on the lookout for the second Waldo somewhere in the loading area of Muppet Labs. He's our
Oh,
hardest to spot Easter egg.
all
They
right.
really haven't found it yet?
I don't think I'm not
I
on social
haven't seen
media, but I
anything.
don't think
No.
anyone's found it yet.
Hello, folks. Jared here, just editing this podcast. Um, Danny says here that there's a Easter egg that no one has spotted. I have since found out since recording, multiple people have spotted this. I'm not going to tell you where it is, but if you're interested, you can definitely have a look. It may even be on the Tough Pigs Discord. I haven't done any research, but yes, Danny, someone has in fact found that. In fact, multiple people have. Anyway, back to the chat. Not that I've seen. Well, that sort of is a good it's a good way to bring up some Easter eggs. We're gonna get to the most important Easter egg a little bit later on, Danny. But is there look, this is you've almost answered this question for me, but is there an Easter egg that took the most effort to include? Like even though only a tiny fraction may ever notice it?
Gosh, that's a great question. We had such a wonderful team of people who not only
Yeah.
supported our like, can we do this really weird tribute to a thing that like three people will know? And also a legal team that was willing to put up with so many emails from Betty and I to say, can we hide this in here? And they would go do all the research to make sure that we were legally cleared to do so. So I don't know that there was anything that was terribly hard. It all just took a little bit of work and some great partners.
Hmm.
And some
Some of the
logistics,
Hmm.
laying out
yes,
how to get things into the building, and just how do we even get to the building in the first place? There's just that
Uh,
type.
so Dave Goles' dog gets a cameo. Not cameo, an Easter egg, Rocket. Um,
yep.
are there any other personal things to the performers? Like I know Matt Vogel's wife Kelly, I believe, got there's an Easter egg to Kelly. Uh, is there any others that we may have missed that is specific to maybe people who worked on the ride?
I'll
There
definitely let
are for
Danny
those
answer that
ones.
one. Danny is the designer of every graphic in that attraction. So anything with any Easter eggs, she can be the one to tell you about that.
I had so much fun. I still don't know how this is my real job. For the more personal ones, if I'm gonna like hide someone's kid's name or birth date or spouse name, we typically try to keep those a little more personal because that's
Yep.
like that's part of the fun of it. But Dave Goulds' dog, obviously, Rocket is a superstar, and the world needed to know about that. So that was a special request from Dave of could Rocket get an Easter egg? And we worked with our legal partners to see if we could make that happen, and we
Hmm.
could. Um, there are some, some sweet ones. I'm sure y'all have spotted it and discussed it, but the most important one for us was making sure that we carried over the portrait of Jim Henson from Muppet
Hmm.
Vision somewhere in the attraction. I remember a lot of meetings about where's the right place to put that that felt important and also something that everybody could see. So even if you are a non-writer, how do we make sure that you can still see that? Because that's something that's so important to all of us. What is the most obscure, silly one that you'd have to be paying attention? Oh, the new it was a very late ad. I think it went like a week but in before we opened, but the key under the mat is a really
Hmm.
lovely Muppet Vision Easter egg tribute that we were able to clear and get installed. But instead of it being a key, for those of you that remember old Muppet Vision, it's no longer a physical door key. Now it is piano keys under the mat. That was a
Waka
really fun
waka.
one to sneak in as well. Yeah, we love a pun. But I think I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about the Easter egg that I know Jared's most excited about, which is Kermit the Frog released an album with a very special song title on it.
He certainly did. And you should have seen our Discord when we discovered that. So, for those who don't know, there is Kermit the Frog released an album, and there is a song on his album entitled Tough Pig.
Correct. And you'll
Tell
notice it's
me,
singular tough pig
yes.
legally.
Okay, we did have some questions as to why. That has answered it. Tell look, we have to ask about it. There is also another Easter egg I need to ask you about before we run out of time, but we're quickly going to talk about Tough Pigs. Um, Tell me about that. Thank you. A, thank you, I should
Of
say.
course.
And B, tell me just a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we had the task. We talked about GeForce Records a little bit earlier of making GeForce feel like a recording studio that the Muppets had been recording albums in for decades. So one of my favorite nerdy design things is I went through the history of Muppets music and started to create albums from each decade. So if you're super nerd, you can pay attention to the evolution of the GeForce logo or the different design styles through the different decades. But that was a lot of very rapid ideation and design so that we could populate that area and figuring out what Muppets would release what types of albums, what did album artwork look like during that time period. So modern albums typically don't feature a lot of the song titles like older albums would have. So there's a couple characters that do have albums where the front cover has song track listings on it. And that was a fun place for us to be able to make sure we had cleared songs that have never existed so that they could live in this magical bubble of GeForce Records songs. Unfortunately, we got to invent some of those song titles and submit them through our legal partners, and they gave us the thumbs up to include official GeForce songs, like Tough Pig, which Kermit definitely wrote about Miss Piggy, who was indeed a tough pig.
She is indeed a tough pig. Well, yeah, as I said, that was very, very exciting. That is I need to get to Orlando just so I can take a photo of me pointing at it. That's the only reason I need to go.
Just for
Um,
that, no other reason.
Betty, have you got a favorite Easter egg in this entire ride?
A big fan of Pizza Rizzo. I love that we were able to get those little Easter eggs with his pizza boxes and flats in the ride box in there. Um, Rizzo is just such a great character that it's fun to have him sprinkled in anywhere that we can. So yeah, I do miss the restaurant was so great. It was great that we can now just pay homage to it here.
I love it. I'm really enjoying the Rizzo Renaissance, I should say, as well.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've talked to you since the Muppet Show special came out,
Mhm.
but we were making both of these at the same time. So there's two pieces that have crossover. So one of them is Pizza Rizzo, which obviously is featured in Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets, but also on the back of Rizzo's jacket in the Muppet Show.
Hmm.
So he's wearing a Pizza Rizzo jacket. And then Miss Piggy has a pink dressing room screen that used to be in Muppet Vision. You can see that in the dressing room of the Muppet Show special, as well as in the VIP room of Rock and Roller Coaster starring the Muppets. So there's some things that are triple Easter eggs.
Triple Easter eggs. I love it.
That's a new phrase. You're welcome, Internet.
uh, as we wrap up, Danny, I need to ask you a question. I'm not sure. I'm hoping you'll remember this, but I believe after you and I recorded our Big Man Carl episode of 70 Years, 70 Muppets, I asked you a lot of questions about the roller coaster. You told me no answers. And I appreciate and respect that. But I did ask for one thing, and in the entire realm of Easter eggs, I'm wondering if it's there and I've missed it, or if you just couldn't get it through. And if that's the case, I forgive you. Did Mr. Curly Twirly get an Easter egg?
All right, you're gonna have to stay with me on this because it's a really weird answer and you're gonna end up editing this out anyway. But if I can't get something in, what I do is Frank's gonna get so mad at me for this. I'll put the artwork in to
I can
an
redact
Illustrator.
all of this.
That's fine. I'll put the artwork into an Illustrator file and then I'll merge them so that they become the background of something else and I'll know it's there, but nobody else will. But technically, he is merged into one of the sign graphics. You'll never ever see it because again, the files are merged. Like it just becomes the background. But yeah, he's
But in
technically
some
part of
capacity, Mr.
technically
Curly
part
Twirly is in the
exact
ride.
like his essence is there. But yeah, sometimes I'll hide little
Well,
things and then I'll
I'll know
merge them.
that's there for me, and I
Exactly.
appreciate that. Thank you very much. It's there. Look, without Frank jumping on, Betty, is there anything that you can maybe tease that's coming up, Muppets related or just parks related, that you're
Oh
working on?
gosh, we've always got things that we're cooking up over with Walt Disney Imagineering. Um, the Electric Mayhem are always cooking up new songs. Who knows? The opportunity is out there.
And Danny,
And
anything you want to
speaking
tell
of
us, Muppet
cooking
World?
up,
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about it, but
We
the
didn't talk about
Food.
Swedish Chef
Swedish Chef.
has a new. We didn't talk about food, but
Did you-
speaking of cooking, Swedish Chef has a new food truck outside in the Muppets courtyard, and serving up lots of very silly foods. And we know, seasonal items at Disney are a big deal. So who knows what upcoming menu items the Swedish Chef has in store? I will share that we were legally allowed to state on the menu at food that the Swedish Chef is not permitted to do any of the cooking.
Yes, I
That's
did
on
see that.
official signage at Walt Disney World. So that's also important, I think, for listeners, is that your safety is top of mind for us, and we will not make you eat anything that the Swedish Chef has prepared.
And we thank Joe the Legal Weasel for his hard work.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for joining me. Again, well done on an amazing ride. I can't wait until I finally have enough money that I can actually ride it myself. But you both and the entire team of the hundreds of people have done an incredible job, and you should all be very, very proud of yourselves.
Oh, thank you. It's been a
Thank
dream
you
come
so
true.
much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, we are. The team is incredible, and we are really, really grateful for all this great feedback. So we can't wait to have you.
And that's it for my chat with Dani Iglesias and Bette Lombardi. Please exit through the gift shop on your way out and head to tpublic.com/toughpigs, and that's our gift shop. I just want to thank Betty and Dani again, and the team at Muppet Studio. I just want to give a little shout out to Frank Reifsnyder. You would have heard us a few times in that podcast say, Frank's going to jump on. Frank is the PR person for Muppet Studio and is the guy we go to for everything. And he is wonderful and very sweet to us and very kind to us. And he's a wonderful person. And I just want to make sure I shout him out. And thank you for listening. Toughpigs.com. Yay, you know who we are. You're listening to this podcast. If anyone wants to fly me to Orlando, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.